Hello, Internet, and welcome to the final podcast of the 2014 year. My name is Brando. I will be one of your hosts. We have a full house here at the Paper Cuts Mansion, Estate, Esquire. Let's start with...
Operation.
Yeah,
Compound.
the compound.
Yeah.
That sounds
The
military.
compound sounds like the FBI is about to come blast the
Yes.
shotguns through the door.
I want-
Ridge of Southampton.
I want to be remembered as the militant compound of the Paper Cuts Fortitude. Alright, well, let's get you all in. My name is Brando. On my right, the ever amazing James Manderson.
Hello.
On his right, the ever disappointing Matthew Chang.
Hi.
On his right, the God of Thunder, Mark Mercury. He can't
Hello.
even. Yeah.
I.
Shakespearean words. And on his right, Dan.
Yo.
And through the void of space and time, on his right, in the computer, on the
Arden
internet.
Zola.
Arden Zola.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet. Our beautiful brother from Michigan. Michigan, holy shit, no.
Michigan, what the hell? Nuh-uh.
I've been talking to a girl from Michigan. It's fucking me up. From our beautiful brother from... God. Oh my god. Eagle River from Wisconsin. Eric Jackman.
Wisconsin.
Wait, we just had that? No.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. Don't worry.
Okay.
Eric, it's lovely to have you. We always...
Very nice to be here,
We
Brando.
always wanted you on the podcast. And this week, our final week of 2014, we'll be talking about 2014. Woo! Yep, we'll be remembering everything from the greatness, the horrible, the days of future past, and trying to forget Transformers 4. It'll be a wonderful time of talking about our comic book experiences, looking back, and then looking forward as to what we have to look forward to in 2015. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to try and take a big chunk of the shark out immediately. We're going to talk about our theatrical experiences. We're going to hit up the movies real quick. Since we just talked about movies last week, it should be fresh in our brains. I'd like to hope and think. So, gentlemen, I ask all of you, tell me, what were your best experiences at the theater? Give me moments, give me movies, give me anything. Personally, me, best movie, easily, not so easily now that it's coming up the throat, but probably Cap 2 still. I say still because I experienced the Guardians like everybody else. And oh my god, it blew my fucking mind. Thank you, James Gunn. But still Cap 2, that movie is effortlessly, like, it feels so flawless, and I can't fault it still. Whereas Guardians, it was just like an amazingly fun ride, but I felt the stakes in Cap 2, you know, it felt heavier, and I need that weight in a movie. So that's my personal taste, even though I'm a Guardians fan prior to the films. But that's just me. How about you guys? Anything?
Back endorsed part. Definitely captive.
I have the cosign. Yeah.
Yeah.
It also brought me Hail Hydra. I love that fucking meme so much.
I have to say, Whiplash.
Whiplash. Oh my goodness.
I have to say, Days of Future Past.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That movie. Best part for me. The surprise from that goddamn Quicksilver, man.
No one saw it coming, and I saw his kid video looking ass, and I was like, he's gonna be awesome. And
You said he was gonna be awesome.
I did.
I was a
check my
naysayer.
Tumblr.
I have to be honest. I was like, I saw that silver outfit, and I'm pretty sure me and Dan both like shat on it together, collectively.
Well, he had that like big puffy throat thing going on the Entertainment Weekly cover.
Yeah.
While he was like standing in place like some kind of like sultan.
No one uncool has ever had a Walkman and goggles at the same time.
Apparently.
No one. But I thought that movie was really good. I think it cleaned up the X-Men continuity for the most part. There are tiny things here and there you can pick at, but really it got rid of the stuff we didn't like about Last Stand and Origins Wolverine, and really kind of refocused the X-Men brand. And, you know, if anybody doubts that Bryan Singer is pretty much single-handedly what makes that franchise, well...
He's right. They are right. A human being.
I think that movie was a really awesome experience, and I think that the time travel was something we really haven't seen done that much in a superhero movie.
Or done well.
And and it was done well, and done in a non-traditional way. It's not your Back to the Future physically sending someone back. It was slightly more plausible time travel.
Alright, well, I'm gonna co-sign with Mark Hill and go with Days of Future Past.
What up?
Just everything he said and more, because it reopens the floodgates to more marvelous X-Men movies, and hopefully we can all forget about Last Stand.
I think we already have.
And most of us,
Last Stand is like gone. Like it's just over.
Yeah,
Everyone-
it doesn't exist.
No, it's just blinked
It's
out,
gonna
yeah.
be a weird like trivia fact in like 5 years. People
Yeah.
will be like, "Did you know that one time Kelsey Grammer played Beast?" Frazier joined the X-Men.
it was amazing.
Someone's gonna be like, "No,
No,
I don't
no
believe
way.
you."
Beast is played by Jason Holt or whatever.
Nicholas
Mike
Holt,
Nicholas
yeah.
Holt. Thank you. I didn't know he's in Mad Max, by the way. I was like, wow.
He's in Mad Max.
Yeah, he's in Mad Max. The movie looks amazing. I finally saw the trailer yesterday. A few days ago when I went to go see The Hobbit. I was like, damn, this movie looks insane. But not to run off. Eric, what's up, man? I see you.
You know what? I'm the worst comic book fan on the planet because the only comic book related movie I saw this year was Spider-Man 2.
Oh, come on, man. Look, that doesn't make you a
And-
bad fan.
Yo, that makes me such a bad fan considering there was Guardians of the Galaxy this year, there was Days of Future Past this year, there was like, what, Thor 2? Was that this year too?
That was
I don't know,
that was
man.
last year.
That was last year? Damn, I am behind.
This year,
Captain.
I think the main theatrical ones were Amazing, Cap 2, Days of Future Past, and if you want to count Transformers as in there, because that's like a part of that 80s monster of gods. And
True,
Hero
true.
6. Big Hero 6 also, that also counts. We had the Turtles also. So, that was
The
basically...
Turtles also.
Yes, Turtles.
And Guardians.
He mentioned Guardians at the very beginning.
I didn't hear.
But you know what? I definitely have to say though, as much exposition in the movie as there was, they definitely got, spoiler alert, the death scene down.
Yeah!
Where they have that close up on her face. It's just, you feel so much for the character and you just want to reach out and grab because she's right there, the camera's right there, but you can't. You're alone in this and you have to watch her fall.
That's a beautiful expression. I feel you, Eric. I definitely do. As the Spidey guy, well, I'm not the Spidey guy. There's like a million Spidey guys, so I'm not special. I'm not special in any like. But like, I love Spider-Man things. Going in there, having read fucking Death of Gwen Stacy, and like, yeah, dude. Like the only things that the Amazing series kind of gets right, besides like Andrew Garfield, that's right. Emma Stone, that's right. Their chemistry on screen is beautiful. It helps that they're actually a real couple, but you know. Like, yeah, her performance as Gwen Stacy is very charismatic, and watching her die on screen was like one of the best things and worst things to see this year.
It kind of makes me upset that Andrew Garfield won't be playing as Spidey
Oh yeah,
anymore.
fuck, that'll be a conversation for another day, dude. Because god damn it, I'm kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I have to be optimistic.
100% for sure.
That's pretty damn
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah,
he
pretty
pissed
damn.
off enough. He pissed in a lot of wheeze at Sony. So like,
That sucks really bad.
Yeah, it
like,
does
he
suck.
killed it. You know, he was doing really good in that movie.
I had-
I had mixed feelings about Spider-Man stuff. Like, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie and stuff. But I thought he carried every scene with him in it was fantastic.
I corralled in here the other day and had Dan and Chang watch Amazing 1, and like it was a good experience. So, but yeah, I think is that the cinematic roundup? We could actually, while we're on the topic, just to stretch it a little longer. Oh Dan, what's up? Dan, what's up? Am I bad? What's up?
Oh, no, it's alright, it's alright. I mean, personally, all those other movies are great movies. I love everything that came out, especially Amazing Spider-Man 2. But my tip of the head and wag of the finger, don't sue me, Colbert,
It's his
it's
last
actually
report today. Don't worry. Then he's fired.
yeah, he's gone forever. Anyways, was actually the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Don't get me wrong, it had lots of bad parts in it, but as far as a full screen representation of the Turtles and having a good fun time, they definitely succeeded with that movie. So I had a good time with it, and that's like the main thing. If you're not having an awesome time with basically anthropomorphic reptiles that eat pizza, do ninjutsu, and
Dan, how often do we say fromage?
fromage.
How often do we?
It's all about Da Vinci's favorite 99 cheese pizza.
So, did 6 comic book fans seriously go through a 2014 roundup and none of us picked Guardians? Wow.
I know, right?
That's amazing.
We are amazing, aren't we?
We're just breaking the mode, man.
Yeah.
And we went through a villains cast with like one Batman villain. Like next thing you know,
We
like,
are unconventional.
we are like the true comic book pantheon. You know?
I feel like that was a much bigger hit with non-comic book fans than it was with comic book fans. Like,
Yeah.
The Guardians movie was like, you know, I didn't even say
yeah.
breakout success, like
Absolutely.
unbelievably, you know, huge. Like one of the biggest movies
That's
of the
probably
year.
why it was,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny because they picked a group of characters that are recognizable only to hardcore comic book fans.
Yeah.
Like they had no pop culture visibility whatsoever before like the trailer for the movie hit, you know, and I don't know, I think that's, you know.
It's definitely one of the pleasant surprises, right alongside Quicksilver surprise. Like,
I don't know. I think
it blew my fucking mind, and I'm just so pleased still with it. Like, I'm tickled pink. I just watched that movie again like a few nights ago. Now that it's out on Blu-ray, like, and I still love the movie, but I'm just still kind of like my mind is still boggling.
I really kind of think that part of the reason that it was able to go and stick so good is like how they were able to go and infuse the pop culture into it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it wasn't an our collective thing, with that awesome mix volume 1, like every single time you heard ooga chaka ooga ooga, like I had like just chills every single time I was ever in a movie theater. Like I can't wait for the drop. Oh, so good. And then you hear the rest of the soundtrack having all this classic like 60s and 70s like stuff go and play. It just everyone can go and love it. I think that soundtrack's up for a Grammy now.
I believe it.
Wow.
I believe it.
It's just the collective works of like.
It's all old songs. It's brilliant, and like they marketed it right with the movie. You know,
Yeah.
Like, it was the other product to tie into it. You know, they showed you what to buy inside the movie. Product placement for something that they themselves made.
I mean, it was a remix, so.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you guys all like Dancing Groot, right? Dancing Groot dolls for everyone?
That fucking
Oh,
sells
man.
like crack out here. But yeah.
no lie, I bought 3 for Christmas gifts.
Oh wow. Chang feeding the fire. Okay. Good
Look,
stuff.
I know a
Treating
lot
yourself
of
well this Christmas, Jack.
no. It's all for buddies that watch the movies, not really into comic books, but you know what? They're gonna enjoy that Dancing Groot.
So I'm not gonna have little MJ
No,
in
no,
my
it's not for you
stocking.
guys.
We're just
Okay.
gonna go and fill your entire room up with Dancing Groots and press play all at the same time.
Oh my god, it'd be lovely. I'll put them all in a circle around my Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
That movie pisses me off now. I kind of hate that special. That's a conversation for another time, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, but yeah, before I badly interrupted you, by the way, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I was gonna say, while we have the time, and totally because it's part of the conversation, next year, 2015, movies. What does the landscape look like? Besides the obviously elephant in the room of our like Avengers 2. What are you guys looking forward to? Unless you're looking solely forward towards that. Anything? Because as far as I can think of, I know you're kind of like, busy, like, what is there, really? And I'm trying to think, honestly, what
Paul
is
Rudd's Ant-Man.
Paul
of
Rudd's
course.
Ant-Man?
Is that coming out?
That's
Yeah.
next year.
It's this May.
That's
Or this coming May.
Seriously, I thought
No,
they
it's
just
July.
started filming.
Oh,
that.
I
It's ju-
reversed the two, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's post Avengers.
Okay.
I think it's August, to be honest, but that's just me.
That's Fantastic Four's August.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I care about. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I want to see Fantastic Four just to see what they do with it.
Absolutely.
I don't have a whole lot of faith, but I hold out hope.
I hold out hope too.
I'm really looking forward to seeing it, even if I'm not necessarily looking forward to it.
This is
My
how
most anticipated movie, period, would probably be Spectre, the new James Bond movie that
Oh,
will come
fuck,
out with,
absolutely, dude.
where they're bringing back the villains from the 60s. The
It was my
Spectre
dream.
organization.
Christoph Waltz. Oh my
yeah,
god.
dude.
I just can't
That's an
wait.
awesome cast. I don't know.
That killed me.
But that's a little off topic, but that's the movie I'm looking forward
You
to.
know what?
next
That's
year.
just. I just wanted to know that about you, Mark. Thank you. Did you pop up, Mark? Nothing, Jen. You have nothing.
I got nothing looking forward to next year.
Damn, you
really.
cold-hearted son of a bitch.
I'm Chang, I see Ant-Man.
Damn, Chang, you fucking
Um,
sound like Miss Piggy.
I'll probably get. It's just damn cold. But in all honesty, I'll probably get dragged to seeing all of these movies, and I will probably enjoy the ride as I normally
Get
do.
dragged, you say.
Get dragged.
But yeah, you're gonna have to, tie me to this omnipresent pipe with my name on it that you guys keep bringing to these gatherings.
These gatherings are ritual sacrifices.
Probably of just me.
Uh-huh. rundown.
2014. I mean, we obviously have Avengers is going to like blow up the planet.
What we got?
Destroy everything.
Yeah. So we got Avengers, like I said. We have Ant-Man. We have Fantastic Four. I'm trying to actually right now, like streamline my brain because, like you said, James Bond. I'm starting to think of a lot of other blockbusters. I'm starting to think of Star Wars. I'm starting to think of Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like lineate myself. But
Terminator, I think.
Terminator,
Yeah,
fucking
that's
like all these
gonna
other
be,
huge blockbuster hits. I can't think of a whole lot of comic book movies, so
Yeah.
those three might be our sole vestiges for next year, which is
the
plenty.
calm before the storm, so to speak.
Yeah.
With 2016, 2017.
2018,
Batman,
with-
Superman.
Well,
That's
that's 2016.
Yeah,
That was pushed back a year.
You're gonna have to wait for that.
2016 to 2018 are just packed with comic
Yeah.
book movies, but 2015 still a little thin on the ground, just two Marvel and a Fox.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you say thin on the ground, but like Avengers 2 is probably like it is its own storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm very curious to see what that's gonna be like.
Perhaps that's even the reason why it's so light.
No, well, DC has nothing this year. I mean,
2 years in a row.
yeah, I know. 2 years. They
Now they have the throne of Atlantis.
That is true. We'll hit up. That's right.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
something-
animated movie.
Let's-
Direct-to-video does not count.
That counts.
If that counted, Jean-Claude Van Damme would be still considered a movie star.
We're gonna roll it back.
Jean-Claude Van Damme for the DC animated lineup, then it'll start to count.
I want.
Look, we cannot deny DC makes some of the best animated movies.
Let's hit that up real quick before we move on from this topic. Obviously, movies is stretched out, and that's fine because it's a very large topic and a very prevalent comic book medium. But like you guys saying, DC animated. Next year, we look forward to the new Justice League animated film, Aquaman. Throne of Atlantis. We haven't had another Justice League animated since they rebooted it since Justice League War. As far as I know, we have had an animated Justice League, so that'll be the first return to that team that they established in that movie. Because since then, this year we had Assault on Arkham, which was fantastic.
Which was in the Arkham universe.
Yeah, which was in the Arkham universe, but it
And
was
then
still
they had Batman and Son.
Batman and Son.
Which
They had
was awesome.
Batman and Son,
Yeah, really good.
the Damian movie, which was really good.
A great
Where
main
Damian
Batman.
basically just like bodies Deathstroke all day, and with confusing powers. But yeah, that was a good movie too. So we had a good stint as far as like DC animated this year. Didn't really see a whole lot from the Marvel line of that pool. Besides, I mean, we enjoyed that Marvel superheroes Lego thing. That was fantastic because it was like breaking the fourth wall every now and then. But that wasn't much on that end of the pool, I guess.
Marvel hasn't really done the animated movie thing like DC.
It's probably just because they're making mad money in Hollywood.
They don't need to.
Yeah, I
They
know.
seriously, and they also have had all those cards. I haven't watched them, but they've had all those network TV shows.
That's true. They have
Like-
a million cartoons.
Yeah, like 1,000. Like there's
Yeah,
they've
they
been
keep
like
canceling them and like restarting up new ones and then canceling them. They never really ground themselves. They never take root into
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're very forgettable.
Yeah.
We'll slip that into our next topic. So, guys, since we're already kind of slipping into that realm, let's talk about TV. TV world. Comic TV world. If I wasn't redundant enough.
Well, DC seems to falter with their live action movies. They seem to have taken off with their live action TV shows.
Absolutely,
Big
Jen.
Arrow
Absolutely.
just had another great year.
I have only 3 notes here for TV. I have Gotham, I have Constantine, I have Arrow. That's
Don't forget
it.
about the Flash.
And The Flash, which I
Flash.
did not even write down.
Mm.
Because I haven't read
all
it.
DC.
Yeah, all DC. The only television that Marvel has
Okay.
right now is Agents of Shield, and they're gonna try and that apparently has some appeal.
Yeah, it's
But-
definitely improving, but it's a slow burn.
You watch it, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes, okay.
Am I
So
the
you're-
only one here to watch it?
You're the only authority on the market.
No,
saw
I watch
tried,
it.
Man.
Yo,
I saw
Eric, you watch it?
7 episodes.
I watch it occasionally, yes.
Eric has
They-
a lot
I'm
of
a little behind on it, but you're definitely right. It's got a slow burn to it that is a little bit dissuading to new viewers of it, which I think is exactly the opposite of what they want to do with it. But other than that, it is definitely improving.
Yeah. I feel like the first season caught a lot of fire because they were trying to do their things very separately from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, they would have occasional call-outs, but for the most part, the show was supposed to stand on its own.
Yeah.
And then it
didn't.
then they decided to have it cross over Captain America, and that turned out to be the best thing for it in the second half of the first season.
Oh, you mean when it crossed over with the
Winter
events of
Soldier.
Captain? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that really bolstered it and made it a lot better of a show than it had been to that point. And so I think for season 2, they've been trying to go more in that vein, but with only one Marvel movie coming out in the entire length of season 2, I think they've been kind of forced to build towards Marvel movies that aren't out yet. So there were certain references to some stuff that was kind of touched upon in Guardians of the Galaxy, but now they're seriously building towards Inhumans.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's pretty interesting, actually. I think that they're starting to burn for a movie that's coming out in 2018?
No, 2018 is Infinity War. So I think it's
So
2017.
is it Infinity War, Captain Marvel, and Inhumans?
All in that same year?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Alright, sure. You're probably right.
And so so it's crazy that Marvel's decided, alright, well, we're going to build towards the Inhumans on this television show 4 years earlier.
Yeah.
It almost kind of seems, once again, like something that's going to be like a trivia fact. Like, did you know they've been laying seeds for the Inhumans movie all the way back in, like, season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Do you think they might actually, involve the Inhumans and, like, wean some of the individuals, like, non-comic book individuals into what Inhumans are through the show beforehand?
I also have the sneaking suspicion that Avengers 2 might do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I have no doubt. With
they can't use mutants.
Since they can't use you, I'm expecting, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver to be Inhumans, basically. Yeah. And, by the way, since you mentioned the 2018 slate with Inhumans and Captain Marvel, go Carol Corps. Good stuff. That was a beautiful year for me. Finally realizing what the Carol Corps was. So, but yeah, other television. Like we said.
Sorry, did I just get off topic?
No, you were absolutely on topic the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I think most of us in the room, DC, has anyone besides me watched Gotham?
I saw like the first couple episodes of
There we
it.
go.
There
we go.
Watch Gotham.
I have not watched the last few weeks, so I missed probably like the last 3 episodes. I left off, it was in a very interesting spot, but I just kind of haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So, I'm kind of confused as to why I stopped, but still, what I've watched, I've really enjoyed. Actually, I know why I stopped. I was kind of disgusted at Montoya. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that for spoilers.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead.
I think the breakout of this show has really been Penguin.
Dude, he's the most charismatic, popular dude. Anyone who talks about the show talks about him.
Yeah, I mean, like, that show has become, like, I'm the only comic book fan at my workplace, and yet we all, like, a bunch of us get together and talk about Gotham when every week after it comes out.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it's Penguin we're talking about, and that 10th time, it's Sal Maroni.
Yeah.
He's funny as hell.
Sal Maroni, he's, like, you need that boisterous, because fucking Falcone, he's stone cold.
Yeah.
Like, he is like a rock, which is fine, because he's the number one, and Maroni's like, he's the hungry bull.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that show's fantastic. I was actually surprised at the quality of it, and, I mean, they packed that season, or the series premiere, like really tight canon anchovies. Like, that was just like insane how much content they tried to pull into it. But luckily, all the fallout had meaning. Like that visit with Ivy, even though Ivy like amounts to absolutely nothing on that show. Like her father.
Not yet.
No mustache, no watch.
Go to dude's
Gordon
like
does need to grow that mustache out.
he's so young, man.
No,
Gordon,
dude, it's like Smallville. It took Superman 10 years to put on the super suit.
Yeah.
And Smallville. After season 10, Gordon will grow a mustache.
yeah, after 10 years.
But it takes a week to grow a mustache.
No, he doesn't grow. He is like ultimate baby face. Like he's gonna in 10 years they're just gonna hand him glasses and a mustache and the trench coat and the badge, and they're gonna be like, all right, you run the MCU now. Also, there's a guy named Batman.
I just like how I only saw like the first couple episodes, but Gordon is already taking orders from Batman or like answering to him.
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
He's been doing it
he's
since,
going
like,
in and checking in with an 8-year-old boy to be
Yeah.
like, am I doing everything okay? Like,
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
Just like, are you
I
cool with all
always-
this?
I always was amused with that too, Jim. Yeah. He would always pop by the Wayne Manor and be like for like sort of like psychological visits. Like, I let the guy who really killed your parents get away.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep my promise. I'm sorry, Bruce. And like Bruce will just come over and like shake his hand or whatever, and be like, it's okay.
Like, I forgive you. Like, I'm giving you permission to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and now I have to pack my bags because I'm off to like second grade. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's silly, and I definitely feel like the connection to Bruce. While Bruce's story is like tentatively interesting to me, I have like way more investment in obviously other parts of the city of Gotham. Mostly the parts that are fucked up, and like there's that
Harvey Bullock.
Harvey Bullock is the great,
He's the man.
and Fish Mooney, who's like a breakout character I too think in her own right, where she's just like, I don't know, does she have comic context?
Not that I know.
So far as I know, she's a completely original character that seems to be standing on her own pretty well.
Who was it?
The black.
Jane Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. She's not from GCPD, maybe. Did anybody
Yeah,
read that?
I've read
Okay.
that.
All right.
It's,
Not okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that might have been the only place. But yeah. Also,
Which is an awesome comic, by the way. Read
Fantastic.
it.
Yeah.
Gotham Central was hardcore.
I was definitely thinking about picking that up.
I
Again.
said
This
GCPD. Gotham Central is the good one. GCPD was a different one, which was not as good.
I'm talking about GCPD to be honest.
Okay.
Like
Maybe
the
I
cover,
have them
the cover
confused.
has Gordon and like he's surrounded by like a bunch of cops and like it just says GCPD.
Okay.
Cover.
Yeah, I haven't read that.
I read that probably like 3 years ago, and it's decent, in my opinion. Anyway, but yeah, I think we're all excited about. Actually, well, mostly you, Dan, right? Because you're the Magic Man, Constantine.
Hashtag save Constantine.
There you go.
Please.
Is
For
it?
the love of God. He's starting to kind of smoke cigarettes now, guys.
He
They're
smoked a
getting
cigarette.
so desperate that he's starting to kind of like light the cigarettes at the bar and twiddle around with the cigarette in his hand and then rest it in his mouth and then cut to black. Like, if you guys watch this, I promise he'll smoke.
And after 10 seasons, Constantine will smoke a cigarette.
No!
Season 10 Smallville, he puts on the suit. Season 10 of Gotham, grows a mustache. Season 10 of Constantine, he is allowed to smoke a cigarette on network.
I guess on season 10, Ollie will grow like his whole goatee.
Yeah, dude, I've been like waiting for that. I'm like, every day I private message Stephen about like,
I do too, man. I'm like, when is Diggle gonna get his costume? Like, I always send him that. Basically.
yeah, why doesn't he write?
I know.
One thing I really like about Constantine is like Gotham, there are a lot of call forwards to other stuff. You know,
Yeah.
they've hinted at Dr. Fate, they've hinted at the Spectre. Actually, the Spectre episode was one of the cooler ones.
I love the treatment on the Spectre.
Yeah, I really think that if they let it go places, the show really could. But I'm not sure NBC's going to give it the benefit of a second season.
But for Christ's sakes, like, push Constantine into like a puddle of mud or something, and, like rough him up, make him like dank and stinky or something, and just fuck him up, punch him in the eye, let him bruise, just anything. Ruin this man's life, remove a couple teeth, have him sacrifice it to a blood god. For Christ's sakes.
Dan, you and I were going to have a conversation later, but yeah, we're going to have a conversation earlier. No,
Get with a time travel.
but I'm just saying, you're looking for some Peter Milligan, John Constantine right there, and what they're doing is very little Jamie Milano Constantine, the young Constantine. Now, I want to see him age. I do want to see him go through some shit, but right now, this is season 1. He's still supposed to be a kind of cocky babyface son of a bitch.
Whatever, give me an episode where they give him Liberty Spikes then. Give me that Constantine.
Okay.
You want grizzled British Constantine. Also, is it Constantine or Constantine?
It's Tyne in the
It's-
show.
In
Okay.
the comics, it's Constantine.
Okay.
Oh,
He
right.
corrects people for saying
Okay.
Constantine in the comics, but then on the show they say Constantine.
Okay.
So,
I innately say Constantine now,
yeah.
like around you gentlemen. But when I watch this show, Constantine feels normal because everyone's just calling him Constantine, like Zeb or whatever, like Constantine. I'm like, damn it. Now it's becoming the norm.
I've started to slip because of that show.
Yeah.
I'm a history guy. I always just say like Constantine the Great and stuff, and I say Constantine weirdly because of that show.
Yeah. I've only watched 3 episodes. When I watched them, enjoyed. So I'm part of the problem. I'm why the ratings have been dropping. But
Stab it, Brando.
look, man, I feel like I had a part in and
In the
building up
initial
your
boost.
I
yeah,
don't-
and the initial boost in
If not for
confidence.
us,
I don't-
none of these shows would be on TV
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the first place at all.
I don't understand why the immense fan base that follows Supernatural, which is another great show,
Yeah.
isn't also following Constantine, because they are so stylistically similar
Mhm.
that I want every Tumblr user out there that has their Castiel and Dean Winchester /fic out there, I want them watching Constantine.
I think
now.
it's because there's not enough hot men. Because like you look at Constantine and Matt Ryan, beautiful man. He has his shirt off like the entire second episode basically when he's in that fucking like coal mining crowd.
Oh, right, yeah.
But that's not enough. His partner is like that grizzly old dude, and then he has like this chick, which appeals to the
Is that
men.
There's the
hot?
angel.
There's the
Yeah.
angel. There is that, but that black angel ain't taking his shirt off anytime soon, man. Like you need more hot men.
And now I'm not watching anymore.
Why do you think Arrow's so good? You watch like the first season is
Yeah.
basically like Salmon Ladder Amel.
Oh,
Like,
there's that, like,
The season 3 promos were like Stephen Amell with his shirt off, Colton Haynes with his shirt off,
Yeah,
the
I
guy
know.
that plays Diggle with his shirt off.
yeah. Colton Haynes is that Ray Palmer?
Nah, that's Roy.
Oh, it's Roy. Oh,
Yeah.
right. See, I get actor names all mixed up.
That's Brandon Root.
It's Brandon Root. That's Superman, aka Adam.
The real reason why Constantine is failing is because NBC put it at 10 o'clock on Friday, the nights when all the cool, hip people go out, party, and drink, and dance, and all that shit. They don't want to watch this fucking show. They want to go do stuff. And then the week comes, it's like, let's have something good to watch on a Wednesday. Nothing has happening Wednesday. They don't have Wednesday. They have fucking Friday when they're never gonna watch it.
There's like a death sentence time slot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what things are like these days. I know a lot of people just watch the TV through other weird tubes,
Yeah.
Hulu or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
the tubes.
yeah.
But yeah, I know.
Series of tubes.
the sequence of tubes that is
The internet.
the modern landscape. Yeah. Before we get off TV or anything like that,
What's up?
The Flash.
Oh, we're not getting off TV.
Okay.
You still
alright,
haven't hit
we
a Flash?
have to get into the Flash.
I,
this has to be done.
You're alone with Chang on this one, so I'm sorry for you, but oh, fantastic. There you go. And also,
everything,
I've seen
dude.
Flash.
I got no life.
Mark, you
I just watched
What did I do
television
to
all
want all
day.
this IO from you tonight, Brando?
Chang,
Jeez.
you don't have any ire. I love you.
But anyways, going on to the Flash.
Put my hand.
Probably my
Don't leave
favorite
me,
live
man.
action show. This is the one I've been like looking
Oh.
forward. This is the one I've been looking forward to, and it's really holding me from episode 1 onward. And what about you,
Damn,
Mark?
he used to take his fucking shirt off. Damn, this is good.
Oh.
Hot. Speaking of hot, Firestorm.
I'm not completely caught up, but I'm just saying, like, maybe one of the most successful. It's only a couple episodes in, but super
Yeah.
successful TV spinoff. That's rare.
Yeah.
Like, that's really rare. I'm talking about like all television. Like, what do you have, like Frasier?
Yeah.
You know, like, seriously, like that's it. You know, this is like
Second Frasier reference of the episode.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. alright.
Kelsey Grammer, beast.
There you go. That's right. Holy shit. Okay. But like, I mean, like, this is the like that '80s show of superhero television, right? So this should have been in and out in a second, and people are all over it. Like, it's really successful. It's very popular.
From the same creative director from Arrow.
And
From the
it
same head.
ties in beautifully.
And-
You know, it's not shoehorned whatsoever. You know.
I read an interview with Jeff Johns which he said that it was the most loyal DC Comics adaptation on television to this point, and it really is. Like, the way they're working with stuff from Reverse Flash to Crisis to Captain Cold, that's all really cool. It really pays a lot of... What I really like about the Flash is that it's aware of where it came from, so you have a lot of... It's very loyal to the comic compared to almost all their television shows. It crosses over and references Arrow, which is the show it literally came from, which is great. And it even references its forerunner Flash show. Barry's dad is played by the guy John Wesley Shipp, who played the Flash in the original 90s TV show.
They'll also bring in Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill's coming back as the
Come back
Trickster.
Trickster.
I forget the name of the female scientist, but it's the same person that played her in the 90s show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
so that they've been really kind of paying homage to the comics, to their predecessor show, and then to the show that they were spun off from. And I think that really lends an air of authenticity for the deep fans, while at the same time not sacrificing its quality as a show.
Like, I 100%, man. Like, all the, it's still one of those, like, CW, WB, whatever the network is called, like, dramas. So there's all that romantic stuff that I don't really care about whatsoever, But, like, they have all these references and little tie-ins and stuff like that that keep me hooked,
Yeah.
Like, they're referencing, like, an upcoming crisis that happens in, like, 30 years, Like, average viewer has no idea what the subtext of that is,
Yeah.
Crisis, is that a key word?
Yeah, I'm freaking out. It's like, okay, they're talking about, a crisis is coming, and the start of the show is The Flash. So I'm like, what's gonna happen to him? Something bad's gonna happen to this
When
guy.
this man's when he's like a nice, well, probably 30 years in real time, probably like 10 years bound for time.
Yes.
And like, by then he'll be a nice man, and you're gonna have to watch him possibly melt away. But anyway.
And as was done with the Batman anime series, it fit in so nicely with that show. These two shows have just created such a great universe. Being from the same director, obviously it's made to be in the same universe. It's already getting its own following. People are already talking about like how this world is going to come about, and like you said, it's showing so much with like Crisis and like future of just the world in general. With talking about Crisis, that it seems to me that they're planning for maybe even more spin-offs.
Yeah, I think.
Do we expect that?
I think it's to be
Are we
expected.
gonna get a third or fourth Arrow spin-off show?
They haven't confirmed it. There's a couple things floating around. First, there's the fact that Atom and Firestorm are on Flash and Arrow respectively, and both are receiving somewhat good fan reactions. There are strong possibilities. The producers are also making a Supergirl show for CBS, and they so theoretically, I suppose, same producers, also DC owned, could be in the same universe.
Even across another network?
That's where it gets iffy, but
now we're talking
within
about
the realm of possibility. It's a lot more likely in something like Constantine or Gotham.
Right on.
Yeah, that's just like, I feel like that was just like a Mel just off the top of the dome, like not like seriously considering, because he mentioned that he was interested in like Constantine. He mentioned he was interested in crossing over the fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, and Clark Gregg said he wanted that to happen. Like, that'd be the weirdest thing, the Arrow Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover.
Hawkeye would just be like,
yeah, they'd have to get a new cameo in that episode.
please, like, just pay Jeremy Renner, like, whatever it costs. Like, that's like $600,000 you have for him to stand around.
Are you telling me it costs Samuel L. less to get Samuel L. Jackson on them and Jeremy Renner? They've gotten Samuel L. Jackson for 2 episodes already. Yeah. They can get Jeremy Renner.
I see Samuel L. on fucking Capital One commercials. I can see him in a goddamn episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah, word up to you, Jim. Yeah, like, I'm definitely down with everything you said. I'm still interested in watching Flash. The only time I've seen him is in the crossover with Arrow. So that's my moniker. And
it's a good lead.
His introductory episodes in before he became the Flash.
Yeah.
Where he came over for his origin story, basically, as it were. Yeah, you're right.
This also might be really picking out the little strings, but as everyone knows, I am the lantern guy of this particular group.
Alright.
And they even had a small reference to the emotional spectrum in the Flash.
I was reading about that.
And we all know that Green Lantern is also has done multiple tie-ins with Green Lantern and Green Arrow, and we all know that Green Lantern is a great friend of Barry Allen.
Dude.
So
you never want your character to be introduced to a TV series through the use of the Rainbow Raider. That's literally the reference you're talking about.
Yes,
you don't want the Rainbow Raider to be
on Arrow, don't they have Ferris?
That is
a company. Okay, so there's that, and it's also Jeff Johns. Okay,
yes.
And as soon as he gets the traction, he's gonna try to throw in some, Green Lantern stuff.
Sorry, go.
That was my entire thought. Like all this nonsense is pouring out of Jeff Johns. Like he's just been running the CW network for like a billion years since like season 4 of Smallville. You know what I mean? He's just been making the money.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's gonna do it, I don't know if they can get the budget to do.
I think they can, as long as they go back to like the core aspects of maybe creating like the Green Lantern suit. I definitely hated the CGI.
Which means Definitely,
just
the more
make it
pecks
as
and package they can show on the CW.
Basically,
Yeah.
the better the core values they'll have.
Right.
Tell you what, they don't want to go and do a space show. Although, like, one little hint that I saw dropped, I forget if it was in like the first episode of The Flash or somewhere within season 2 of Arrow, but I saw them go and drop by Cord Industries, which
Yeah.
makes me so happy. I love Ted Cord.
Yeah.
Bring me Blue Beetle.
That has to happen. They on Arrow or the Flash. I mean, I think we can all agree that they have
Yeah,
to bring
yeah.
on the Blue Beetle.
I always
It's gonna
thought the
happen.
perfect
Please
character for
bring back the Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
the perfect character for Arrow would be the Question. I
Mm.
feel like he would kind of be a nice counterpoint with his crazy right wing investigative reporter thing. I feel like that would fit into the whole Starling City thing in a very cool way.
Let me ask you guys, does anyone know what network Titans is going to be on?
TNT.
TNT, thank you.
They're doing a Titan show.
They are shooting next year with Nightwing, and I don't know who else, but they at least confirmed Nightwing, so I don't give a fuck because I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
That starts shooting early next year.
You figured they would have got to that first.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at least that animated show, which
they
I'm
had-
not even a huge fan of. Like,
Yeah.
This got huge traction.
Yeah,
You know,
Titans
people
says
love
it's
that.
like even just the property of Titans
Yeah.
within the comic book community has some traction.
huge.
Like more so than I believe like fucking Oliver Queen, like
Yeah.
Queen rather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to know, like, because as you guys start to talk about like crossover possibilities and whatnot, and like possible other CW spin-offs, I'm like, I was thinking like that could be something if it lands on the CW. Like, my God, that would have been a killer third spin-off show
Yeah.
for them to dive into because like they're already sort of with
You
Arrow.
get Roy.
Oh Jesus, yeah, they could get Roy.
That would be-
It's already.
And,
I'm
that
already
would
having
be
mind
awesome.
explosions. Mind
Yeah.
explosions are happening because like
All they need to introduce is Iris's nephew. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my nephew Wally.
and I'm just kind of like throwing it. Oh my God, Jesus! Like it's happening now.
Yeah.
Like the mind explode, and also like no Arrow spoilers, but like popular fan art is floating around the internet of the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah.
So
Stephen
Bat-
Bell got yelled at for that.
yeah, dude, and like that's my boy Boss Live did. Like anyway, that's his art, but Batman universe obviously within feet distance, if that was true, like within like toe distance, because I mean Raish is like an all-round villain, but more
Yeah.
a certain Cape Crusaders adversary. So, like I'm saying, like if that happened, like if that was a crossover possibility, I was like in my mind, like I'll go insane.
Yeah. An idea that occurred to me recently that I know will never happen in a million years, but I would love to see is if Constantine, with all its references to mystical stuff, and Gotham are all taking place in the same universe.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool to me. You know, just I don't know. There hasn't been anything directly contradictory yet.
If Fox and
So
NBC
it's-
could like,
Yeah.
Who owns NBC?
Universe.
I feel like they have better relations than other companies would. So
Probably. I
I
mean,
think it's within the better realm of possibility than like seeing Spider-Man in Civil War. Like, yeah.
they might get him in there for a cameo.
No.
No.
They might. I don't know. I was reading
I-
a Screen Rant article that made a very good case for it.
And I read.
I'll post it too.
I'll post articles that counter that, but
Sure.
that's for our pastime. So, man, TV chunked out a lot more time.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with that conversation.
And considering we just did a podcast on that 2 weeks
I know,
ago.
yeah. Well, we just had the big ones, relevant brain fodder, because we both talked about movies and TV recently. So like, and especially strictly live action television. So
Yeah.
that was a nice conversation.
I mean, talk about 2014 though. This is probably the biggest year for comic books on television ever.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, it's at a crescendo.
Yeah. Specifically,
1977.
Right, that was alright. Yeah, like the old school like 70s stuff. But like, if we're trying to like, the Hulk, that's what you're talking about, right?
Hulk, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman,
Sure.
Nicholas Hammond, Spider-Man,
The Mighty Isis.
oh my
Yeah.
yeah.
Shazam and Isis
Yeah,
Hour.
I mean, that was a big deal back then, and they haven't been able to recapture it since. You know,
Yeah,
until
almost
now.
40 years later practically, and now we have like this huge boom of television of comics, and like gotta say, like I'm not disappointed with almost any of it. Like, oh yeah, also again, us paper cut podcastians being the progressive bourgeois that we are, not mentioning Walking Dead at all again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's technically based on.
How could we forget about that?
That that show beats
That show
And
beats
that
out
beat-
the comic book.
that beats out the combo. Okay, that's
I'm
what
making a thumbs down gesture. It's
Yeah.
visual, but
no deep love here for the comic. No offense
Yeah.
to its creators, but apparently-
Yay, Kirkman! I'm sure it's a great show. Okay.
I've got nothing against the comic. I read some of it. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world. I personally think zombies are boring as shit, but whatever. You know.
What about Marvel zombies, man?
Those were a little bit better because at least they had the rationale of having superpowers. But your common run-of-the-mill zombies are like seriously the least frightening thing in the world. But I tried to watch Walking Dead. I did. I gave it, like, seriously, you hear how many shows I watch. I gave it like the old college try, and somewhere towards the second half of the second season, I was like, this show is boring as shit. Like, it's like a bunch of people sitting around talking about zombies until, whoops, there's the zombie of the week, you know? And it's like, I couldn't, I don't care.
second
Oh,
season
I get it. It's so clever. The Walking Dead are them, not the zombies. Yeah, okay, fine. Whatever. It's still a boring show. Like,
The
I don't know.
second season was like the low point of the entire thing. I'm not going to completely defend the series because I'm not a huge fanboy for it, but I'm going to say, like, you know, the second season was definitely, I agree, boring. And I'm saying that, like, as a fan of it, you know. This guy over here.
Eric, we have heard
You
you.
know what? It was definitely around season 2 where The Walking Dead, in my opinion, took a turn for the worse because it started to feel like a soap opera my mom would watch on like A&E or something. Like, it would have that awful like close up on the face, and they would just be standing there like, well, what if we do this? Dramatic cut, you know. It's the. I mean, I see it now, and it is definitely better than season 2.5, whatever you want to call it. But it's still got that A&E, you know. I spent $5,000 on this episode feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have no. I know that the most of the appeal for that show is the human interaction in the show, but like, I hear that it's I hear it's like that, Eric. I hear it's too soap opera-y, and I can handle my soap opera business. I've been watching a lot of silly shows. You know, every show we watch, we mentioned this before. You know, Gotham, very dramatic heavy, not like an extremely action intense show. A lot more dramatic chops in that show than there are action pops, but it's definitely, it just doesn't have that pull for me because the universe it's in is just a really like Instagram filtered weird looking landscape with zombies, and it's like I'm just gonna play the Telltale video game because
Honestly, I was just about to take it though. The Walking Dead Telltale video game, nothing beats that.
yeah, that game is fantastic. I love those.
And it's probably because of the soap opera feeling.
Oh
You,
yeah.
you yourself are now, you know, in that shoe. And when they give you that time ball, and you read through the full like answers you can give, and you're just like, ugh, I don't want to give any of these. Nothing works. And you got that time. You gotta just say the first thing that comes to your mind, like, please let this be the best. Please let things work out. And, well, 9 times out of 10 they don't.
Mistakes were made. People have died.
And that's how a desperate situation should feel, right? Like, that's how the apocalypse should feel.
And then
right?
you start feeling the apocalypse a lot more. You know, watching it, you know, is totally different than you actually playing it. And they make it really, they do a fantastic job of putting you in that situation. Like, you are making these choices.
Right.
And they're all terrible choices.
On that that totally planned moment that we just had right there, we're gonna segue right into our next subject matter of the year, which would be video games. Clearly, general consensus in here, Walking Dead video game, much more beloved over here than the show. No offense to the show again, but it's just us. We clearly just played more. I haven't played the second chapter, or whatever, second volume. I've only played the first one, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Fantastic. I haven't even finished that actually. I've only done 3 chapters of that.
Do you at least know about the second
No,
chapter?
I don't know anything.
at all?
No.
Alright.
So we're gonna keep it that way.
Yes, we will.
But
Spoilers, though.
but you guys, anybody in the room, anybody comic book, video games experiences this year? Nothing. I mean, it's kind of like
Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us. More Telltale video games.
Yes. See, if you like any kind of comic book and you want an interactive comic book in which you can go and control the fate, the Telltale video games are like the ultimate form of that expression. I fully believe that if you want to go and get into something
Give me a
like
big
Fables,
middle finger to
you
the bow.
have to get The Wolf Among Us. It's a prequel. It's awesome. It will cost very little money and take up a decent portion of your time, and you will enjoy it. Okay, every outcome is very, very satisfying. You just want to go and have Detective Big B Wolf on the case to go and solve these murder mystery crimes that are going on in a very dramatic fashion, you know, trying to go and see what's up with the rest of the fables in the universe, like, you know, Snow White, and Ichabod Crane, and, you know, Toad, and Bluebeard, and everything like that. You're gonna love it. It's absolutely wonderful. Definitely my favorite video game that is based on comic book property this year. I really hope they do a sequel. In fact, it was even so good, they're making a comic book adaptation of the video game.
I saw that. Yeah, that was impressive. I was like, whenever the video game, like when Injustice got its own comic that is still running, I was like, wow.
Which is actually a really good comic.
Yeah.
Like it's been said
It is
before, you know,
amazing.
but it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, when the video game is so like prolific and then it gets its own comic adaptation, which it's already based off of, so like the cycle is complete. I'm always pleased and impressed with like how well these creators, you know, execute their vision.
Did Bill Willingham write the script for the video game, or
He was
Bill
involved.
Willingham was kind of like in a producer kind of method, and he signed his blessings on it. He read it thoroughly and allowed his stamp of approval on it, which is all I need. Bill Willingham says it's okay, I'm down.
Alright, fantastic. I'll have to check it out then.
Oh yeah, please, yeah, you'd love it, Eric. Like, oh my god, like everything your brother just said, dead on. Like all of us who played it, which pretty much account for me, Dan, and Chang, but we've all had different experiences, but we all had fantastic experiences with the Fable universe, and I'm not as read or as learned as everyone else is with Fables right now, who has put the time down, but I still love that universe, and I'm just totally into it right now. So I can't wait for when and if, hopefully when, they make a sequel to that video game, because they leave it on somewhat of a, not a cliffhanger, but a lot of open-ended possibilities still like flying the air.
So many characters you can follow.
Yeah.
So many characters. Give us a Blue game. Give us a Cinderella video game.
Yeah.
Dear God, I would love you forever.
I believe these stories told by Telltale is wonderful because not only do they give you decent action scenes that you yourself, you know, are contributing to, and you get to see the outcome of how well you perform these quick actions, but really when it comes down to it, when you're reading a comic book, you're reading a storyline, and you a lot of times in comic books, it's very prevalent that you hear the character's thought, you understand why they chose that action, and here you don't get that because it is now your thought, you're choosing the action. So it's really a great way to immerse you into a comic book kind of world, and I really feel like it's just like paying a complete homage to the comic book that they're based off of.
I'm definitely sold on it.
Okay, well I'm glad, because that was basically like a 5 to 6 minute commercial for that video game, and Telltale in general, so.
Yeah,
We're not-
Telltale.
Telltale was fantastic. Yeah, nothing else for
Game
all
of
the
Thrones
other-
game, also amazing.
Oh yeah, that's so far. But yeah, I think that's basically all our video game experiences. I mean, besides you and me playing Lego Batman, which has been pretty fucking gnarly. Like,
That's been a lot of fun. We've been playing through only the second one, and the third one just came out this year.
Yeah,
The
Beyond
third
Gotham.
one also looks a lot of fun. It looks like they're bringing in a lot of like unsung heroes, I guess you could say. You know, a lot of
Yeah, a bunch of random. That game has like 1 million characters, like 150 or something.
there's an insane amount of characters, and it's stretching out to all across the DC universe. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for a way to like kind of get into it and kind of learn about some characters that you never heard of before, definitely check out that game.
Yeah,
Lego form.
in Lego form.
Lego
The
form.
most charming form.
Yeah.
It
I
is
would-
actually quite shocking.
Yeah, I believe it. I played the first one. I didn't mention that because it happened like 7 years ago, not 2015.
No, it's
but
irrelevant.
I played Lego Batman for the DS port for like 40 hours or something totally obscene like that. I unlocked
Nice.
every stupid character in it, and now I see they just keep making them. Apparently Kevin Smith is in the new one. They made him a super villain.
Oh, yeah.
It's like totally,
Yeah.
they know what they're doing. They know who their audience is.
Yeah,
They
it's
have Steve Amell in there too.
right. He voices.
Conan O'Brien. If you mess up the game at all, he'll come in to like help you and explain how to do things.
What's going on with Conan O'Brien in DC Comics?
I have no idea.
There's a connection there because they had the Bruce Timm thing with
The Flaming Sea.
yeah,
Let me see.
like they dug deep to get that done. You know, they were like, let's get
It's a conspiracy theory, man.
yeah.
I think he just, in general, likes actually DC Comics.
I hope that's true. I hope that's true.
That or they're paying him a lot of money.
Who owns TBS? Is it Warner Brothers?
Or is
Oh,
it-
It's a Time Warner company.
Mark, why do you have to ruin the mystery, man?
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh gosh, okay.
I don't know if TBS is owned by Time Warner.
Oh, okay.
But if they are,
That would be a very good.
He's a Grant Morrison man, you know. He just knows the mystery.
Yeah.
He is the mystery.
God damn.
I'm seeing all the layers at once. Fourth dimensional. If we can get through one podcast without me mentioning Grant Morrison, it will be excellent.
I'll
but I
pick
don't
up the
think it'll
slack.
ever
I'll
happen.
pick up the slack.
I'll give you a
just,
don't-
yeah.
I'll just be like.
There'll never
so,
be not enough of you to know.
When it was
that
in
you're good
Kathmandu
ones.
in 1994.
That would be like me not bringing up a Green Lantern hero, though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We each have our.
We each have our little,
Yeah. As an
Orders.
obligatory, like, spit in the face, your Christmas present was
Like-
Grant Morrison comics. So, like, I appreciate that. No, it's okay. It's beautiful.
It's excellent.
I want to read Pax
Read it.
Americana.
It's
Like,
excellent.
We'll get to Pax Americana.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we start talking about actually comic book
Yo,
related
that's
comic books that happen.
that's right after this.
We'll get
That's
to
right
that.
after this. Actually, you know what? Do we have video games left? Does anyone have video games
I
left?
don't have any video games.
Okay, fuck it. Let's go in. All right, comics is here. Let's end it on a good note. So we're talking finally about what we're actually talking about. You know,
Yeah, actual comics, guys.
beware, real comics. What? Yep. So, yes. So, guys, your comic book experiences for this year. I know it sounds far fetched, but they still print these things. In the year 2014, am I right? Can women vote? I don't know, but I love women, by the way. They birth check, but let's just say.
Bitch planet.
They're functional. You know, yeah.
They totally help society.
Ugh.
Utility.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to do that ladies podcast later. That one about
Oh
femininity.
wow.
Yeah.
Totally thought that sentence was going somewhere else.
Oh no! I can't wait to do
We'll actually
femininity.
gotta do one.
The
Femininity.
podcast. The podcast.
Oh yes, a podcast, like a recording of. Yes, we're gonna do.
I thought
one.
it was just like I can't wait to do them ladies later.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, yeah,
No, no.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give this out.
Overshare a little, Brad.
No, not that bad. I promise. I swear to Jesus. Anyway, comic books, guys. Please tell me. This might be a little dicey, but let's try and let's keep it. Let's order it. Eric, you start off the ball for us, all right? Because I miss your voice already. I've been here for like 5 minutes. Tell me, comic book experiences for you. What have you felt? this
You
year?
know what? On the topic of women, let's talk about Bitch Planet by Kelly Sue DeTonic and Valentine Delando. Okay.
Comic book shop. I was like, what is this nonsense?
Okay, so first of all,
Not allowed
if
to
you
call
consider
anything by
part,
Kelly Sue nonsense.
you know what? If you consider yourself part of the Carol Corps, you also know to follow anything Kelly Sue DeTonic writes.
Oh, I'm not in
Okay.
California yet. I'm like, my toes are wet. I'm still waiting in line.
Well, you know what? Sink your toes into a little bit of Bitch Planet, man, because this comic is so damn good. It is so hypersexualized, so absolutely ridiculous,
Yeah.
and yet somehow you still like it, and you still understand that this is written by a woman.
Oh, like
This shit
look,
is written by a woman.
look, man.
What?
How many issues are there? Isn't there only like one?
It's only issue 1, and I'm telling you, 2014 to 2015, Bitch Planet is gonna be freaking wonderful.
Look, man. I know you just said, by the way, just to say it, like, even if it's hypersexualized or whatever, being, in my personal opinion, being inherently sexual is not a negative feature. It's a part of being human, and like, if you can't like accept that, that's your own problem personally. Like,
Especially in like disposable pop
you know what?
culture.
Yeah,
You
like,
know,
you know what? I'm gonna hit it up right now. I'm not gonna open this can of worms too hard, but like on the note of things that annoyed me this year in comics, Spider-Woman variant. Like, I'm not down with the reactions that got, by the way. Like,
Okay. Number one, it was a poorly drawn variant.
what?
Like,
She
Okay.
looked kind of fugly.
Dan, back me up.
Well, the Spider-Woman variant, I did not like the cover. I like Milo Manara. I like his art.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. It definitely looked like she was taking a big fart on the side of the building, and that's okay, you know. But just honestly, not cool. And veering away from that, she actually just got a redesign. It was leaked,
That's
oh really?
and it's awesome
That's
looking.
awesome.
Hell with their
Yes.
old costume. I hate that old costume.
it's a Spider family.
On a brief tangent, if I had spider powers and I need to take a fart, I'd do it on the side of a building.
Okay. This is where the ire comes from, man. But yeah.
What else you got, Eric?
Yeah, what else do you have this week?
You know what? A continuation. I know Bitch Planet is new, and if you're into old things, but still kind of new, definitely take a look at Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona
I
Staples.
hear Saga.
Because-
Back hard.
Solid
Yeah,
book.
definitely.
Love
Saga.
Definitely.
I keep hearing constantly, like today, as I, like, as like my warm up. I usually try to talk to other people online, get their opinions of what they felt for this year. Saga, a name that kept creeping up. Everyone says Saga is amazing, so I'm definitely, my interest has always been there. But with the reactions I got today, and plus you, I'm definitely gonna probably check it out sometime soon.
That definitely falls in the instant classic.
Yeah.
They were talking about Pax Americana too today. They were talking about that. Also, like, that came up a lot. Saga came up a lot. Sex Criminals came up a lot. I'm not gonna cut off too much more, but yeah, all comics this year that were like brought up continuously.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, Saga is just one of those comics that you gotta read. It's super just... It flows well, the artwork is fantastic, go read Saga, and if you're not reading Saga because there's 30 issues,
Just
what's
kill
wrong with you?
yourself.
Just there's an omnibus coming out for it. I think it's like $30. It collects 18 issues. Go get it. I know I'm spending your wallet for you, but I tell you, listen to me. It is just so worth it, man.
All right.
Plus, there's a creepy television janitor.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Creepy television janitor.
I want a Saga spin-off mini that's just about the little baby seal who wears like carpenter overalls. He was in like 3 panels, but I'm enchanted by this character. He's just adorable. Very cool. Yeah.
You gotta be pulling my leg, Joe.
No, it's
There's a baby seal that wears little carpenter straps.
and he has some kind of like responsibility. I don't remember what he's supposed to do. But he's cool, and you know he gets stuff done. You should check it out.
The Saga is just one of the best comics that you're gonna get out there one day. It's just, I don't know what else to say about it. You know, freaking television janitor man, freaking, I don't know, man. Just go read it.
I can tell you're losing yourself to the Saga. Mark, what's up?
It's too much.
No.
I've got a lot of favorite comics from this year.
Oh,
and
okay.
Saga's not going to be on my list,
No?
but it's definitely should have been.
Oh, okay.
It's a great comic, and it could go on forever.
It could go on forever, and you'd be infinitely
Yeah.
pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. I don't even know what. You don't have to give me a synopsis, because clearly, like, it's just
It would
die
be
hard.
hard to even get you
Yeah.
a synopsis, dude.
I know
It's
that
There's so many moving
yeah.
parts to
Yeah,
it.
don't worry
it's-
about it. Don't worry about it. I know that feeling. I was trying to explain Birdman like earlier today to like my boss, and I was just like, I didn't even know where to
That was
start.
really good.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's really hard to explain. But yeah, moving on. You guys, anyone else gonna list off their best? We'll go with you guys. Mark, you're already talking. Let's go for you.
So like, I've got a lot of favorite comics. I really love pretty much everything Kieran Gillen does. Uber, Wicked and Divine. He's just doing Angela, which I finally bought. He finished up a run on Iron Man, which was fantastic. Pretty much everything that guy touches turns to gold, in my opinion. Then there are the more classic authors like Warren Ellis, who really got back to his roots after a couple of years of, forgive me, Warren, but dicking around when it came to comics so that he could focus on the books. He had 2 really solid comics this year. His take on Moon Knight, which was new and crazy and cool, and
Oh man.
and his Trees, which is a fantastic comic. I highly recommend it. They're just wrapping the first arc before they take a break before the second one. But because it wouldn't be me, I have to end up coming back to my boy Morrison.
Of course.
At the end. Now, his book for Legendary, when I recommended it, I didn't give a publisher, but he's doing Fraser Irving a book called Annihilator for Legendary, the movie company, which now has its own comic book branch.
Oh, it's really. Is that where they're publishing the Godzilla comic from?
I don't know.
Okay, just curious.
The Godzilla comic is cool.
Oh,
It's
is
really
it?
cool? Yeah.
Cool, nice.
The artwork is fantastic. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be
Annihilator is a really fantastic comic. I already recommended it. I recommend it again. But what I have to say is topping even that, because Annihilator would have to be near my top, so would Uber. But what is at the top of my list would be Multiversity. Now, it's all been fairly strong. The Thunderworld issue was marvelous. The Society of Superheroes was a blast too. I really liked the Just with the Super Sons, and even the first issue, which set it up with all the Marvel pastiches, was great. But for me, Pax Americana, which took the Charlton action heroes of the 60s, the Watchmen characters that they inspired, and then just smashed them all together in this contemporary setting, in this kind of set-piece, fourth-dimensional, non-linear comic book that can work if you read it by like 4 layers. Like, the main character's probably the president if you read it one way, but it could also kind of be the Peacemaker or Captain Atom. It's really a fantastic comic by the dream team of comics of the past decade, in my opinion. Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. It's not even his real name. No one knows who he really is.
That's not good.
No,
He's
it's
a
a pun
superhero.
on, quite frankly, that he doesn't. Nobody knows who he is.
That's okay. I didn't even know what to make of that. That's silly as hell. All I hear about Multiversity is amazing, mostly from you and Jim, who looks like.
Multiversity is my pick of the year. You know,
Damn.
I didn't read a whole lot of 2014 comics in 2014. I mostly caught up on my old man stuff that's like been running for 10 years.
You're
you know?
fine. What did
But,
you read this year?
What's that?
What did you read? What did you read this year?
I caught up on like Invincible by Kirkman. I also caught up on The Walking Dead, also by Kirkman. You know, so that was like months and months of reading because I was like 7 years behind on all of them.
That's fine. If that's what you had this year.
I perused a little bit through Flashpoint, which I thought was set up really cool.
No.
Just kind of wandered all over the place. But one of my picks is Flashpoint #0, like the free comic book day one.
Oh, okay.
Like, just in terms of like huge bummer alternate comic book realities, I think that's like a heavy hitter.
It was ambitious, yeah.
It was horrible and depressing and really sad, so automatically cool. Also, Old Man Flash with the beard sticking out of his mask.
Yeah.
It's worth seeing. But Pax Americana, like, all the Multiversity it's fantastic so far, and I'm very happy that it's actually out. The coolest part of 2014 is that like this comic book that was supposed to come out like 10 years ago actually turns out it exists. It's not just an internet rumor or like a magic spell that somebody came up with. Like, it actually is manifest in the universe.
All roads lead back to Morrison.
I'm pretty sure the world might end when the haunted comic comes out. Like,
yeah.
that might be the harbinger of the apocalypse.
It is certainly, if you read the comic, it's basically telling you that is the case. I, in all good conscience, can't recommend that anybody read Multiversity because that would be like an evil thing to do according to Multiversity. Like, it's like an evil, cursed thing that will destroy you. But it's also, I'm not allowed to stop reading it.
The comic says it's like it tells you not to influence other people to read it, right? Sort of.
It's also telling you that you have no control over what you yourself are doing. The comic book is writing your actions.
Oh.
It's very cool.
And they're right, because you are reading it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop.
It's
not
similar
going
to those old like Flash John Byrne covers where they'd have like "Stop! Don't buy this issue" on the front. My life depends on it, and it's like, except it's an entire comic, and it's really trying to get into your head.
Yes.
Well, I'm not like you fucking drones. I ain't gonna read you goddamn Morrison.
You'll be the only one that survives the Morrison apocalypse.
I know.
You'll be like, the last. You'll be the Omega Man.
I'll be the Sarah Connor.
We'll all be walking around like saying the anti-life equation.
Oh my god.
Morrison is
Alan Moore equals life death. Grant Morrison's anti-life.
If I live to see a real dark side, I'll just shoot my leg off. Like, oh my god. Shout outs to that villain podcast.
It's also
Fuck
worth
you,
mentioning
Darkseid.
before we move away from Pax Americana. It is Watchmen. It's Morrison's take on Watchmen, and Watchmen being a take on the old Charlton characters. You know, so it's basically like the continuing boxing match in comics between Morrison and
Moore,
which is
Pretty sure Alan Moore lost that boxing match like 10 years ago. Just
yeah.
saying.
Well, this is a fucking nail in the coffin. Like, it's vicious because I don't know. It was a really cool comic.
bloodbath, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you got it. Man.
It's like when the WWE guy with the big hat commentator is like, "Good Lord, stop the match," you know. That's what I always think. I think it's gone too far. But yeah, that's beautiful, man. I'm glad you had a good year for what it seems to be. Any bad stuff you read this year? Just ask. Nothing you hated.
I don't know. I'm happy that the Teen Titans comic ended. Like, the guy who was writing it before, I was not digging that. So, I don't know if the new stuff's any good.
I just thought I'd pry.
The meanest thing I have to say. Also, I know I mentioned this a couple episodes before, but this year they reprinted Miracle Man.
Yeah, you mentioned
Everybody, that's now available to you, and you have no excuse not to read it. Best superhero comic ever. I'll say it.
Wow, that's
I might not necessarily go that far, but it's a pretty fucking awesome comic.
Look, I'll take your recommendation, but
it's hardcore. It's
good stuff.
Yeah.
That is good stuff. Dan,
Yes.
tell me, where is the comic force with you?
I had a very interesting year. A year of ups and downs. I didn't get into a hell of a lot of super new stuff this year. I mean, the newest thing that I could really think of getting into is Gail Simone just rebooted Secret Six, which is absolutely lovely. I really enjoy the ongoing adventures of Catman. So that's going to be awesome, but it needs to get past issue 1. So that's the one thing in 2014 I'm really happy about. But also they have Turtles is still going. They're in 40 issues. It's wonderful. It combines all the best from the movies, the cartoons, and the old comic books, and smashes it in a blender and then brings something new to it. And I believe the mythology is way stronger in this iteration of the comics than it's ever been. Best version of Turtles, period. You heard it here. Don't kill me. I read a lot of Red Sonja was freaking awesome this year. Gail Simone's written that. I just, have big heart for Gail Simone and Kelly Sue DeConnick. Anytime they write anything, I just try to go and flock to it. And, Red Sonja is not really your typical fare. She really tore herself from her super rapey origins, because, that's what the original origin of Red Sonja is, and really turned out to be this, I don't give a fuck kind of character, I'm this sword for hire, and I'm gonna do what I want, I'll go and I'll sleep with girls and guys alike, I'll do everything in my power and kill chefs and, fight nearly naked because it distracts people. It's awesome.
She kills chefs?
Why?
You would kill a chef.
People who cook food? That's
disgraceful.
Welcome to Hell's Kitchen.
No.
You, fuck off.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah.
When you said that, my mind went to the place where Daredevil lives. That's what I thought you. Okay.
Yeah. Daredevil's kitchen.
Right.
He doesn't.
Dude,
Matt
they already
Murdock.
had Black Panther, Man Without Fear. Gordon Ramsay, Man Without Fear.
The Ram Without Fear.
I love watching MasterChef Junior just because he makes children cry. It's the funniest thing. You're a fucking disgrace. And they're like, I lost my waffles.
Your waffles was shit. It looked like crystal. Get this
Waffles? You call these fucking waffles?
Shout out to Gordon Ramsay. But sorry, Dan. Continue.
The one interesting thing that's been happening to me this year is that in my comic book pull list, which I must have at least 20 comic books being pulled right now, my Marvel list is ever growing and my DC list is shrinking. partially due to a change in creative teams. I'm looking at you, Wonder Woman. You make me so sad. Brian Azzarello, Goran Setazuka, and Cliff Chiang. So wonderful. For 35 issues, 3 years, and they've only done one issue with Meredith Finch, and I'm sure it's gonna be something, but not what I wanted, okay? They do the first issue, and then they already gotta be like, oh, here's the Justice League. I'm like, no! We went for 35 issues without the Justice League! Why do you do this to us? So, I mean, I'm not happy about that.
No, really. You're not happy.
I wasn't reading unhappiness.
I was gathering some emotions, but not
I was reading
discontent.
happiness though.
Oh, you were?
I thought you were thrilled.
My emotional must be off, man.
Let's
Emotional.
memorialize it though. Wonder Woman, awesome run.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
fantastic. I mean, probably the best Wonder Woman solo comic I've ever read.
Definitely,
And
I
it
would
ended.
agree.
It didn't drag.
No.
It's sad that it has to end, but I mean, it was good all the way through. You know. So.
It was, in my opinion, the last of the great New 52 comics.
Yeah.
Because they started off with a couple solid titles, and then one by one they took them all out back and shot them in the throat like
Damn.
they were.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
Or
I was going to
there's
say,
always
like, spies
Batman.
in the Soviet Union, but whatever. And
Look, man, I love Dojo.
and now I feel like a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of those great comics, Justice League, Dark Action Comics, Wonder Woman, they've all kind of
gone the way of the dodo.
yes.
Yeah.
Snyder Batman's still going strong.
Snyder Batman here is still going up. Oh look.
Oh.
I'm not a Snyder Batman guy.
Really?
Okay, his early stuff was
Because they're
good.
just making noises.
When he was doing Dark
People are making
Mirror and
noises.
stuff, that was good.
Yeah.
I borrowed the New 52 run off Dan, and I was like, what is all this Court of Owls bullshit? This is preposterous. I don't know. I didn't like that.
Eric,
How
speak your
dare
words.
you? I am personally hurt, Mr. Mark.
Well, let me tell you,
I'm
Jack
a-
can write the wake, but not Batman.
I am a Snyder advocate because I never really liked Batman until I got into Snyder Batman. Really, you know, I had read The Long Halloween, was kind of tepid on that. I had read Hush at that point. I had read Year One and was actually in the middle of Nightfall at that time, and really, Snyder Batman is the first thing that made me really say, wow, Batman is such a cool character because of the lore behind the Court of Owls. You know, there's this force in Gotham that has been around for hundreds of years, and Batman never even acknowledged them until now.
You and I will have to talk about this more because I have my problems with that, but at this point I would derail the podcast thoroughly to be like,
Eric, you've been around for like a week. Hopefully we see you more. You'll learn that's shorthand for Mark's gonna like body you with a lot of paragraphs later.
yeah, pretty much.
But
Yep.
to run
It's
back
okay,
to the,
Mark. It's okay.
run back to the source, Jim. You were the one mentioning Scott Snyder Batman. Did you have any other comments?
It's still good.
It's still
Yeah,
good.
That happened in 2014, so something to contribute.
Nah, that's it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you had if you had any more on that thought. Gosh, gee willikers, dang. I'm looking at you. Tell me, comic books. What are you thinking this year? How are you
This
feeling?
year has been an absolute thrill ride for anyone and everyone who is a fan of Green Lantern.
Right.
Possibly both. And let me tell you, Jeff Johns
Chang, are you going to recommend Godhead as the book for 2014? And The Return of Damian Wayne is what you hate?
No.
Mark,
Because that's like total deja vu, bro.
I could.
Just in general, this entire year has been wonderful for the Green Lanterns. It started out with Lights Out and continued on from there. Just Lights Out made it so that the emotional spectrum is now killing the universe, basically. And so now the Lanterns have to deal with the moral standard that they are actually causing a problem while trying to solve it. And it makes it so that their powers isn't just, something that's granted to them that they can just use without thought or without, restraint. And now there's really just a whole plethora, as Mark said, going on with Godhead finishing off the year. It looks like DC's really paying a lot of attention to the Lantern Corps, all of them, and it really feels like the new creative team has really just picked off where Jeff Jones left off. And it's really nice and to see, like, me personally just starting in with New 52 and just seeing the new team be so wonderful with so many other people, seeing like new development teams like with Wonder Woman just kind of fall short of the previous glory that this Green Lantern was able to keep up with. It was just wonderful for anyone who's a Green Lantern fan.
Gotcha. Okay, so you had a good time with Lantern Corps. When you were saying that, like, they had to deal with like the moral implications of using what seems to be like an overbearing, like, infinite power. I was just thinking of Dragon Balls, but like instantly I was just like shutting wrong. But yeah, dude, tell me about just say it. Tell me about Damien.
Not even going to that. I kept following Batman and Robin. I started out with them when they first started with New 52, and I kept following even after Robin died, but
That was a good part.
after a certain point, I just could not continue reading it. Apparently, it did pick back up again, but just seeing Batman continually run after the dead body of Damian Wayne, it just dragged on too long for me, and I couldn't keep up with the
I
comic.
got you. Yeah. The immediate aftermath is
So,
fantastic.
Yes, the immediate aftermath was absolutely fantastic.
That's like
and I
where-
even recommended it.
Yeah.
They
Name on the
exploited it so much.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, what you expect them to. You
Yeah.
know, like a comic book
Right.
character dies, they just keep going over and over and over and over. But
We're definitely
did Damien die early this year, or was that last year?
Was
I
that
think
this
that was
year?
last year.
Okay.
That might have been like
Because-
last year at least.
If that was 2014, that Batman and Robin run was awesome.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can talk
yeah.
about that,
That
but
was last year.
Yeah, it's okay.
should have done my research. But
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's if we're talking about it today, it's relevant still. I mean, his death is still on the table. His aftermath is definitely this year. So it's definitely something in the realm of conversation. But
And definitely kind of a really kind of bad thing, I think, as far as
his resurrection.
as far as just comics in general, bringing back Robin's really a weak point. The only weaker point I think this year for me has been Superior Iron Man. which
Really?
is a ridiculous comic, and it's been so done. It hurts. It's like you take a character that the whole part of Iron Man is that he's kind of unlikable, and but you're supposed to like see through to his heart of gold.
Mhm.
But now they're just like, hey, what if in addition to being unlikable, he was actually like genuinely a bad person?
I heard, yeah, like
And
it's just like this is the young Cockney,
Yeah.
ambitious Iron Man, but now he's actually not even good.
and it devalues everything that there is about Iron Man as a character. And the thing is, it might be cool to see done once, but they totally did this in the 90s with this comic where it turned out that Kang had been controlling Iron Man for years or something.
Oh,
And then they did it again with the whole Civil War thing where he was
Mhm.
clearly the bad guy. And I'm just like, Iron Man's kind of easy to be a bad guy because the whole point of him being a hero is he's a guy who seems more like a bad guy. Stan Lee even said that.
yeah.
And just, okay, yeah, we're making him into a bad guy. It's just very mundane and,
See, people
it's
see.
called Superior Iron Man.
yeah,
I'm assuming that bounces off of Superior Spider-Man.
precisely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he have somebody else's personality?
No,
Or is that-
no,
It's
not-
just, he's had all the good removed from him by the Red Skull.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
alright.
he's like optimized himself, and he like wants to like sell. I don't know if it's like some sort of like branch of Extremis.
Yeah, he's basically, there's, spoilers,
Yeah,
there's an
sorry.
Extremis app
Yeah.
on people's phones, so people can download Extremis.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, but the thing is that he gave it was a free app, but then he started making people pay for it.
Need to maintain it, right?
So basically only the people that were rich enough to afford to pay for Extremis get to be these perfect superhuman beings. So there's basically a class system worked out in San Francisco where he's relocated to, where there's this overclass of rich people that can afford to keep up their Extremis addiction on their phone, and the underclass of people that aren't downloading Extremis. It's a fucking ridiculous story.
It makes me physically ill to listen to your summary of that. I mean, okay, so it's a commentary on, like, it's like some Occupy stuff going on, right? A little bit, and they're talking about, like, freemium, free-to-play, like, phone app games. And they're like, that's topical, right? That's relevant. Kids will relate to that.
Talking about these days,
yeah, let's rewrite Extremis to be about, like, Pogs or something like that.
I am equal parts amused by the premise as Jim's absurdity. Like, I might even read it. But,
You know what? It doesn't get worse than that unless we're talking about Atrocitus.
It was I knew the premise because I glossed over it in the Cyborg, the comic book shop we go to, but because I'm like, oh snap, he's like selling Extremis as sort of like a way to better people, but like he's being total asshole about it, getting people addicted, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was exactly like that, like with a phone app or whatever the hell it was. I'm like, wow, that's something else. I don't know, no more words for that. So.
Especially considering that Tony Stark's had so many storylines with addiction and battling addiction, I think it really undercuts him to basically turn him in from, hey, you know the guy that's like a recovering alcoholic? Let's turn him into a drug dealer.
Yeah,
it's like really fucked up. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't think that.
Is that still 6 months? Is that like main Earth?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it in any way measures up to the last two runs by Matt Fraction and Kieran Gillen. It's a real step down, and I don't think either of them would have put out a comic that's bad.
Absolutely not. They're too busy putting out good comics like Hawkeye.
Yes. Like Hawkeye.
Like Hawkeye. Let me tell you about that 2014 Hawkeye. Matt Fraction. God bless.
When it comes out.
I know. But that's one of the beautiful things this year. I haven't read a whole lot of it. Again, I've been like glossing comics like all year. Like if you ask me like what was good for me, I definitely say Miss Marvel, new Miss Marvel with Kamala Khan. I'm so pleased with the success that's had. I've only read issue 1 and 2, so I haven't been on whatever they are now. Where I think they're at like 9. I don't remember how far in the monthlies they've gotten, but I'm so pleased with the success they've had with Kamala Khan. She's a wonderful new character. I'm glad to see a new character sticking to the wall. It's just incredibly hard, especially for her, where she has everything wrong. I think I mentioned this in a conversation with you guys earlier, but like she's a female protagonist, she's a minority, and she's a new character. Like all those things are just like death traps for a lot of like character establishment. So it's all beautiful to see her sticking around in good force. And I also said, I think this is in that podcast that we had to scrap, the ladies one, but I also said I think it's due to digital being more prominent. Yeah. Digital sales opening up the eye span and like the market for people to kind of like the accessibility of comics, because we also said about how comic book shops can kind of be a different kind of environment for people to interact with socially. It has its own factors that kind of pull people in and push people away in its own way. But yeah, that's a topic for another day. You said Superior Iron Man, Superior Spider-Man. I finally started digging my teeth into that a little bit, and I found some good. I still hate it on the whole, but I think it has some redeemable moments. And we'll also we're tabling a lot of stuff for like later, obviously, because we have so many podcasts down the line that we'll be talking about. But like on the note of like character death, I read the issue where like he has this like the Peter Parker ectomy, more or less, and that was like such a knife twisting moment where like Peter and
thought it was gonna bring him back.
Yeah, and like I was like, and now he's just falling apart, his world's crumbling, and then all of a sudden he can't remember his name and he's gone. And I'm like, wow, that hurts. I don't even like this comic and it fucking hurts.
I really like when he's forgetting his name. Doesn't he accidentally misstate one of the names?
He says Palmer. He's like Parker.
And in one of the
Palmer.
early issues of Spider-Man, like from back in the 60s,
Yeah.
they had accidentally put his name in as Palmer or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It's a
and
little
said it was
wink
a little
nod moment.
callback. I like that.
And then it's nothing, and then I'm crying again. And then I'm like, I tried to redeem Ock when, like, you know, Peter comes out as Ock, and like when he's dying physically as Otto Octavius, and he's like, he's pleading with Doc Ock in his body, to like, please, like, watch out for my family, watch out, you have to be Spider-Man now, and like he's like, I got you, I promise, and I'm like, all right, you're okay, Doc Ock, I might even like you. Then I read the rest of the issues, and I'm like, no, fuck this, no.
But when you have like Venom and the Green Goblin and shit, like, or not Venom,
Carnage? Vulture.
Sorry, the alliteration got me. But
It's
like
okay.
Vulture and Green Goblin,
Mhm.
and I'm siding with Ock.
Yeah. Still don't like it.
Okay.
Oh man.
I got like 3 issues into that. I didn't think it was terrible or anything like that. Like it definitely, it just, I felt like it wasn't written to
Yeah.
me.
I feel like it's in the same vein as like how like you're interested in like Walking Dead, like after like 2.5 seasons you start just to wane off. Kinda like me, like I think I read around like 12 issues and after that I was just like, meh,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's for all the people that don't like Peter's personality.
yeah, it's for everyone who complains about Peter's personality. It's basically that's what
I liked it, but I like traditional Spider-Man more. But I like
Mark, you're a very amicable man though.
I like Superior too. It was a
Yeah.
cool change for about a year and a half.
But there, yeah. I think Demi, you make a good point though. There's a strong fan base or crowd base that I've interacted with that kind of like doesn't really relate or sympathize with Peter Parker as a human being, and I think that comic really sympathizes with their need or want for a heroic Spider-Man without Peter Parker. Because Miles is like, as interesting as Miles Morales has been, he's not as like oddly dynamic that I'll let Doc Ock be like. Because, like, you don't know. Like, there's, like, that question of, like, what is he gonna do? Like, whereas Miles will always still do the heroic thing. He still has, like, that kind of moral ground. So I can understand the interest.
Did Miles cross over into 616 this year? That happened
Yes,
this
he
year?
did.
It's Spider-Man.
That's a big one.
And I haven't read it.
No.
But
I've read
you?
the preview.
Yeah, I read it.
But he's like not in the Ultimate Universe anymore, right? Like he's gone from there.
I think he's still in
It's
the Ultimate.
mainstream.
I'm not sure that it's been absolutely cleared up yet. You gotta
Okay.
forgive me. I'm reading all new X-Men as
I was
it
gonna
comes out
say,
hardcover.
I was like, what the
So
hell is going
I'm
on?
behind on all new,
Yeah.
which is another excellent comic.
Excellent.
Brian, Michael Bendis.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, Bendis reinvigorated the Avengers, and I wasn't that big. I was a pretty big fan, but I wasn't like a loyal fan.
The Bendis?
But
New Avengers?
yeah,
I
but
loved that.
I like it was good stuff, but it wasn't like anything that I was, I wouldn't have put it on a best of the year for 2004 or anything. But his take on X-Men has pretty much brought me back to X-Men after a long while away.
Cool.
But I'm reading that as it comes out in hardcover, so I'm not actually up on how Miles is in 616.
Yeah.
That's a question I'm curious about.
I assume it's post Age of Ultron stuff. That's the same reason Peter was able to go there, right?
Yeah, I guess. We're all speculating. We
Yeah.
need to actually read it.
We should read our comics
Oh,
before we do
yeah.
our comics podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Also, they had like the whole Edge of Spider-Verse happen too.
It could be
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely go and see that whole crossover come, especially like Spider-Verse is just a very, very strange thing that's been happening this year with was it Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099 coming from the future in order to go and have a time displacement. Ock Spider-Man has to get flung into the future, so you have like a short line where after the events where Peter Parker comes back, Ock is in Miguel O'Hara's future, Miguel O'Hara's in the back, and then you have all these other Spider characters, including like Ben Reilly, but he's the main Peter Parker and all this crazy other shit happening.
Can we talk about how badass the Gerard Way issue of Spider-Verse was? Because
Read it,
I'll admit, like, as a stupid teenager in the mid-2000s, I was, like, all about My Chemical Romance back because it got me, like, girls or something. But, like, or I thought it would. Damn.
It's all blurry memory.
But, he he's done some fabulous comics like Umbrella Academy and Fabulous Killjoys, and
Oh, he did Killjoys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gerard Way does do Killjoys.
And so then he did an issue of Spider-Verse, and it was just this weird kind of half manga. It was awesome and offbeat, and it was the only part of Spider-Verse I read, but it was hardcore, and so...
It's his style. I like his style.
Yeah.
I really
The
do.
only part of
Me too.
Spider-Verse I read was the Gwen Stacy
Oh,
by
that's
Jason Latour.
How was that?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very...
That's beloved.
To go and compare it to something, I compare it most to the new issues of Batgirl, where you have like a style of art where a lot of the artwork is really flat. No, I mean like flat isn't boring, but flat colored wise at least. You know, very like bright and cool colors. You know, they have a lot of pinks and blues, which is her primary colors. And they've really tried to go and make her into like a cool and hip kind of character while bringing her around to, you know, the universe is just very interesting. You know, the way they go and they play with Peter Parker in this one, because she's the hero instead of dying, so they have to obviously invert the equation on this one.
On a completely separate note,
Oh, okay.
something just popped into my head.
That's fine. Go ahead.
That I want to talk about now. Eric, Dan has told
Yes,
me
sir.
that you're a fan of like a lot of the Image comics that have been coming out recently. Have you gotten a chance to read Velvet by Ed Brubaker?
I have not gotten a chance to read Velvet, and I'm so upset because I was just finishing up Fatale.
Yeah.
And Fatale was absolutely fantastic. The ending was a little bit more open-ended than I wanted it to be, but it's still, you know, just something to put in the Ed Brubaker handbook of awesome thing Ed Brubaker has done.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. The finale of Fatale was really cool. I highly recommend Velvet, the new series. It's one of the best espionage comics we've seen since, well, his run on Captain America. And the man writes solid spy comics, and I'm a huge fan of spy comics. So definitely check that out. Forgetting the name of the artist right now, but it's the same guy who did Captain America and Fatale with, so...
Sean Phillips.
I thought that was the guy who did, like, the crime books with... Wasn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm confusing stuff. Sean Phillips did Fatale. It's not him.
It's not him?
It's his other frequent collaborator. I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. I just
let
wanted to make
the
sure you had a
down.
complete thought. You're good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, tie the web in a little deeper. Two things with Dan. One, I feel you with the Gwen Stacy Spider-Verse. I didn't read it, but the stylistic changes with that. When you compare it to Batgirl, yeah, because like everyone kind of had their own kind of flavors this year. We had tragedy, and we had excuse me, some things that were fun like Miss Marvel, some things that were very thought-provoking like Pax Americana. I feel like Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy, and Batgirl kind of fall into that like highly modern sort of new style that's kind of like becoming a little more prevalent, which I really enjoyed. I feel like that's where She-Hulk ended up too, but she's going the way of the dodo too, unfortunately. One of the bigger disappointments of this year. I know, Dan's.
Why does 2014 cancel everything, Erwan?
Yeah, that was
Why
wild.
do we cancel Marvel's Elektra with beautiful Michael Del Mundo interiors? Why do we cancel Red Lanterns? Well, I know why they canceled that, because Chocolate Soul is going strictly Marvel. They just cancel all my favorite things.
I'm sorry, Dan.
That's nothing to laugh at, because they also took away my Swamp Thing, which I'm so upset about.
Yeah, nobody mentioned that. That's
Yeah.
New 52. When we talked about New 52 titles that died, Swamp Thing was like the breakout.
Yeah.
Is Animal Man
Yeah,
still
man.
going?
I heard it.
I think so.
Okay.
That
alright.
ended.
That's right.
Animal Man ended.
Okay.
Oh, well, there you go.
So it's all dead. That whole thing is
The whole,
dead.
yeah,
The red, the green, and the whatever it's all.
the Dream Team is
That,
gone.
okay.
I'm sorry.
It was
The Green Team.
Uh,
I forgot about that.
You son of a bitch. Alright.
That comic sucked.
But yeah. On the note of things that aren't dying, but that are being born, the new reboot of Batgirl is one of my favorite things that have this year. Obviously, if you were reading this podcast, I hope that I can't take the time to subtitle this, and I never will.
When
But,
we get big, we'll have a spin-off comic
Oh yeah,
that's based on us. And people will read this in print.
Jim, that's beautiful. I can't wait.
I'll do it.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God, sweet Jesus, thank
That'd be
you.
excellent. Then we can have all of our spin-off titles as single comics, except for Chang.
Then there'll be a podcast that's dedicated to commenting on the comic that's based on it by fans.
Oh,
This is so meta.
this is intense. I want you to draw me with obviously I'm 6'2",
Okay.
and I am Mohican Indian. Okay.
Okay.
Make sure you get that right.
Yeah.
Definitely not anything else.
Okay.
But the true Brando Castro. Okay.
Okay. You got it, man.
Thank you. But oh my God, Batgirl reboot. That's where I was. Right. Yeah. I know you love Gail Simone, Dan Jackson. I am actually happy to see her go. Not because I hate her, because I love the new team, as everyone knows. I'm just pleased as punch with Babs Tarr and Brad Fletcher and Stewart and everybody on the new Batgirl team. Even though everyone seems to have their panties in a twist over this transgender representation in issue 37, which I personally don't find to be a huge issue, but that's a topic again for another day. But anyway, it's
Got
beautiful.
a lot of them today.
Oh yeah,
I
lot of
guess it's a recap, so we're only touching on things briefly.
yeah. I mean, we're just remembering, and I don't want to elongate. Oh no. but
Chang is asleep, by the way.
no, he's totally awake. He's just, yep, that's what's happening. But Batgirl has been a ride this year, and I've been enjoying the last 3 issues, even though it's only been around for those 3 player times. Also, well, for me, I haven't read too many things, but the Bendis Guardians of the Galaxy. You should all check that out. It's got wonderful writing, very good dialogue. That's probably the best part about it. I love the rapport Guardians have in that show. It's like in that comic. It's just amazing, and almost. I mean, he teams up with varied artists, but I really like the Sarah Pichelli stuff. That's art is really detailed and dynamic, and it's very colorful. And I suggest anybody check that out. She also does a lot of stuff. Sarah Pichelli's an amazing artist. She bounces around a lot of artists.
I can see it now, Brando. Everyone on the internet is readying their pitchforks and torches as you praise one of the most hated runs of Guardians of the Galaxy. Why can it be like the 2008 run?
Dude, okay, 2008 run was amazing too, and I'm pretty sure that. Okay, is anyone encyclopedic like Mark?
I've read the Abnett and Lanning run, and then I read the
Is it 2008?
crossover with all the X-Men.
Is 2008 the run where it has that like climactic moment where like Nova and like
Yeah.
where Nova and him take on Thanos?
Yeah.
Okay, that's heart wrenching.
Yeah.
But
that was a hardcore run, and it introduced me to Cosmo the Space Dog, and for that I'm eternally grateful. I
Rocket kind of looked like a beaver, unfortunately.
sometimes depending on the artist. I haven't read the Bendis run except for the Trial of Jean Grey when it crossed over with Anu, because
That's where I
am
started.
reading that,
Yeah,
and I like that well enough.
read it, dude. It's great. I
I
liked it.
have so much money, Brando.
I'll lend you the comics then. What am I
Okay.
doing?
I'll tell you what, if you're reading all new X-Men, all they're telling you is that you want to be reading Guardians of the Galaxy too, because they go, oh, next year they're going to go and tie in with the Black Vortex, where they're going to have another crossover between all new and Guardians. So, if you read X-Men, you probably have to read Guardians.
Yeah.
Brando, as the resident Guardians fanboy, how do you feel like the movie coming out impacted the comic? Because that always happens, right? Like the
I
movie
think
comes out
this
and
is
then
the
comic
first-
changes.
Yeah, the first time. I think this is the first time that a successful movie adaptation, negatively impacted the comic.
Gotcha.
It didn't, because it impacted the perception of what the Guardians were. Now, inherently, all the dynamics of the Guardians are still there. They still have that funny ass rapport. They're still like very crass. They still kind of do whatever they want. But people are so socially attached to the film's adaptation of the Guardians. I don't think that they I don't think that the Guardians' success, as great and as startling as it's been, has garnered the interest into the comic verse of Guardians, because I think the comic verse is still too C-lister for people for some reason. As poppy and as like, I feel like this is the most mainstream looking and like cleanest looking Guardians there's been in like the last 20-30 years, but it's still not like hip enough for
Like
the kids.
people aren't going out to buy Guardians comics
No.
because they loved the movie.
Yeah, they have enough Guardians fodder from the film alone to satiate that need. They don't need to explore into the comics, in my opinion. That's what's happening, in my opinion.
I don't know. Haven't they gone from one Guardians title to
The Guardians of the Galaxy. I know you guys are about to say Gamora, Rocket, Star-Lord all have amazing
Guardians
spin-offs.
3000?
Yes, Guardians 3000.
Guardians team up.
I mean the Bendis run. Just strictly the Bendis run. What you're talking about? The Bendis run has suffered for it. Everything else.
I'm
around.
just saying they've turned pretty much overnight into a franchise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I could see them being to the 2020s what the Avengers were to 2000s and 2010s, or the X-Men were to the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I mean strictly. I'm trying to. Maybe I should have been a little more specific, but I mean pertaining strictly to that Bendis run. The Guardians franchise and IP as an entirety, that's just benefited in like leaps and bounds. Like I can't even imagine. Like this is like dreams come true. That's something I should probably mention. Like a Rocket solo comic just popping out of like thin air, and like Star-Lord and Gamora and Angela, the character who debuted on Guardians, getting her own comic too. I mean, she's a nice Guardian character innately, but
Debuted in Spawn like 20 years ago.
Bitch, I don't
Wait,
care.
did that happen this year? Angela from Spawn is now in Marvel Comics, strictly because of copyright reasons. That's
Well,
the only reason.
Ultron too, but
That
yeah,
no, that's
yeah, no,
nonsense.
yeah.
That's just
Pretty much.
That is weird, and we should just say that happened. I'm sorry, that had nothing to do with what
Comics
you were
have come
talking
at it.
about.
I have to say, I read the first issue of Angela. Carry on, really dug it. Guardians,
She debuted for me
Thor.
in Guardians. That's what
Loki, and
I'll say that.
Thor, 10th Realm.
Oh
like,
yeah.
honestly, I was a little skeptical about, Angela coming in randomly from, another universe. And it did seem a little weird that they brought her in, but they've kept Marvel Man, Miracle Man separate, and they are doing so for the foreseeable future. But honestly, it's reaped some pretty good comics.
That's good.
Somewhere Todd McFarlane is slamming his head in a car door. Just
Just trying to choke himself by eating signed baseballs. Suicide by
Oh my goodness. Well,
I don't know what happened in Marvel Land where they're just like, remember that Image comic, Angela? Doesn't Neil Gaiman own that? You know what? I think it'd be a really good idea to add her to our pantheon of Marvel comics.
If you ever want to, I'll do a 3-hour podcast explaining the entire legal history of all that nonsense. Like, it's gonna take that long. It's that
Dude,
complicated.
seriously, with all the Miracle Man stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
I'm
he's
down.
man of miracles. Dude,
Well,
I tried reading about that legal clusterfuck and gave up because I haven't passed the goddamn bar.
It's
Like,
exactly, dude, and it's like international law too. It's international copyright law that goes back to like Fawcett Comics with like Shazam. Like seriously, that's how
Really
deep it
does.
goes. Yeah.
we'll go into that. That'll be deep shadow conditions. we'll explore that. But we're gonna wrap this one up because it's reaching villains levels of length. So before we end comics, actually, let's look forward real quick. Comics next year. Anybody? I know that DC Convergence. That's pretty.
Yeah.
They're looking pretty wildly.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that. Also, the fucking a million events happening in Marvel with It All Ends and all that jazz, culminating in Secret Wars. Like that's a fucking clusterfuck too.
The Fantastic Four is coming to close, maybe permanently. They keep promoting with the end is forever with the word four spelled out because they want me to hate them. And I'm kind of looking forward to it because it's been a good run. I'm also looking forward to the new Secret Wars.
This
You
is
know.
what, the 4th Secret War?
Yeah,
altogether,
yeah.
something like that.
I don't even know why they're secret. I mean, like, they talk about them. They're like, hey, remember that time about with the Beyonder?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the 4th or 5th, yeah.
Okay.
Depending on whether or not you count the time Nick Fury invaded Latveria as being a secret war, even though it was called Secret War.
Okay. Alright. But this is like, I guess to be a secret war, you have to go play sports on the moon.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Somewhere planet was involved.
But yeah, a lot of stuff to look forward to in 2015.
Looking forward to. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say Spider Marriage because I just want to see Peter Parker happy for fucking once.
He doesn't get to be happy.
Yeah, man. You know how this goes.
I know how it goes. Happy colors equal.
Yeah.
And they're gonna kill his daughter. I understand.
10 minutes later, they're gonna
Listen.
have the devil making his marriage not exist.
I know, right?
I bet there are a lot of married guys that would like sign their
who'd take
soul
that trade?
for their marriage.
We'd take that trade. Be like, oh yeah.
They'd be like, oh, all you want is my marriage? Okay.
Like trade because he traded for like Aunt May's life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I could get my my cousin back. Take my marriage or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, it's literally a bad 1950s comic punchline. Like, take my wife, please.
Yeah, it really is.
Listen, I want to hear about Peter Parker's bad time. Matt Murdock's had a hard time too.
Matt Murdock doesn't have a hard time. It's like they just they're like, hey, how can we fuck with this character? Like if you're into like all that, maybe there's an alternate universe where Daredevil's real and we're just writing him. Then like seriously, he has the right to come to our universe and beat everyone to death who's ever written his comic.
Well, anyone written by Mark Waid.
All you do is hate, man.
Nah, I don't hate. I appreciate it.
For me in 2014, surprisingly, I don't have too much in my scope right now.
2015?
It's-
2015?
Yeah, 2015.
Okay.
Yes, that year.
It's okay.
I'm a big fan of family characters. That family is awesome. I love like Batgirl and Batwoman and Batwing and all that super awesome shit. Now they're kind of doing the same thing with Spider-Man. I am actually really looking forward to Silk coming out, I think, in January, which
That
is
looks
going to
cool.
be really interesting.
I think
And,
Silk's a cool character.
Spider-Gwen's getting her own book too, so I think that's really, really freaking awesome. And they're trying to really update Spider-Woman. I don't really care about Jessica Drew at all. I've never cared about the Hydra agent who's a double turncoat for Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. and just really stupid. But I don't know, maybe they can go and breathe new life. So Spider-Family is looking pretty cool for next year. And whenever Pretty Deadly starts up again and East and West, I'll be pleased as punch. So those are like the things I'm kind of looking forward to at least.
East to West to start back up.
Yeah, East and West should have more stuff coming in.
Because I know one of those books that seemed to reach a natural conclusion, what that did was Manhattan Projects, also by Hickman and Image, and that was just, it came to a conclusion and then kept going, and it's still going. So there's that to look forward to in 2015. The end of the plotline seemed to have reached its natural conclusion 5 months ago.
How about you, Eric? Anything next year?
On the subject of people that are tortured and family men, I'm gonna suggest Animal Man.
Ah. Animal Man, huh? I thought the Animal Man had ended.
Not Animal Man. What am I talking about? Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Oh.
That's
I mean,
a comic?
Animal Man
misspoke
is
here.
torture, don't get me wrong.
And a family man.
No.
Yeah, and a film.
And a family man,
Freaking Scott Lang. Every time I hear about him, I want to cry a little bit because this man is tortured. He was once a family man, as we all know. Maybe not so much anymore. But next year, it'll be written by Nick Spencer and the art by Raymond Rosanas. And I think it debuts in January, right?
Okay, so it'll be a hot button.
Yeah, it'll be a hot buy. Ant-Man's coming next year, the movie at least. So get yourself hyped, get the first issue, and go along with it. I'm sure we'll all love it.
Oh, hopefully, we'll see. It's no Hank Pym. It's my boy.
Yeah.
Hank Pym's my man.
Or Eric O'Grady. He's kind of third-rate Ant-Man, but you know.
Yeah, well, I
He's
don't,
the third one.
I don't buy my stuff secondhand. I only buy first-rate wife beaters. So,
Yeah.
Oh!
man, I'm being awfully misogynistic today.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I do not, condone that, by the way.
I'm just saying, Black Goliath was a way cooler character than Scott Lang as far as picking up Hank Pym mantles.
Mantles. I'm gonna probably lay out a conspiracy theory that Hank Pym is the most important man in comics, but like, that's for another day.
Remember a few years back they made him Scientist Supreme and then they didn't really talk about it again after
I know, man.
Like, what happened?
Like, that's on the Massive Table podcast. That's gonna like that's for 2015. So let's. Anyone have any other comments? I think we're starting to shut down. Nothing.
I have no idea what's coming out. Seriously, I don't know.
It's okay, man.
I mean, they're bringing back the pre-New 52 continuity.
Do you think so?
I don't know. Isn't that like an event that's happening?
Convergence is
Yeah, they're bringing back
There you go.
certain titles. Yeah.
I'm excited to go check that out. That'll probably be cool.
Even like funkier yet, they're like
Return to
diving into like stuff that's not even like okay, it's like pre-New 52,
That's like
that whole era, but then they like bring back like
Some
old
pre-crisis stuff.
yeah, like
Yeah.
old Captain Marvel. I wouldn't be surprised if they have like Jay Garrick now and Scott doing something.
It should be fantastic.
Is Captain
Booster
Marvel?
Gold and Blue Beetle and like,
That
all
looks
that
awesome.
kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, best friends for life.
Please.
Yeah. So, on that note, wrap it up. We'll bring it down. As always, gonna do our roundtable comic book recommendations for the week. Starting with Mark.
I'm gonna recommend one from a couple months back, but Boom Studios has been putting out a Steve and Mrs. Peel comic based on the old 1960s television show, The Avengers, no relation. For about the past year or two, off and on, there have been about 3 minis. The last one wrapped 2 months ago, I think. So it was a good comic. It was from 2014. Hot button here. The last one was like 3 issues. It was good and easily digestible, similar to the Prisoner television show. And it was definitely my favorite Avengers comic of the year.
Nice. Alright. I'll put about mine right now, too, that since I couldn't last week, I can now. Batgirl. 37. Controversial topics going on in this one, so you might want to get in on the circle and you want to know what's going on. But besides the transgender drama, the comic's really great. I find it to be very interesting because of some of the imagery that was put out. There is a fantastic moment when Batgirl is investigating with her friends and they're all going out of town and they're all cute, Dinah Lance and all them, Black Canary. They're all scooping out of town, looking at a curating art session, and there is a particular piece of art that has beautiful imagery that hits the soul really nice for me, the Batgirl heart. And it's it has a nice little mystery story going where she reveals a very intricate plot. So, Batgirl 37, fun, modern, still riding the train. I mean, it's only 3 issues in for the review, so I'm not completely gonna lock in every week, but still, you can tell.
Rebat.
What?
The Rebat.
The rebat. Our puns are getting on that level.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my.
been like 2 hours, guys.
I know.
Bat time, new Bat channel.
Yeah. Yes, Jane. Oh man, but that's my recommendation. Babstar, Fletcher, Stewart, read Batgirl 37. Dan, I see you. What do you got for me?
You guys,
What do you got for
if you're
people?
not reading it, I know Brando keeps harping on this, but you should really be reading Daredevil by Mark Waid. Also, Eric, who draws that comic?
I can't remember right now.
I will stab you. Anyways,
I'm sorry.
It's
read
okay.
Daredevil. Chris Samney, thank you so much.
Boom. Mark with the save.
So, yeah, read Daredevil by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. It's pretty freaking awesome. And the thing is that Daredevil's been excellent for years now, and their run is actually just capping off after 2 very, very successful runs. So I think now that it's starting to go and cap off, now's the perfect time to go and start your collection become a true believer of Hell's Kitchen. Daredevil, as he goes and he makes his move to California to have his law practice out there, and as for some reason in Superior Iron Man, he gets his sight restored. But
talk about that.
We don't talk about.
Just forget it.
yeah, no, but seriously, read that. It's excellent. Daredevil is probably one of the best comics out on shelves, and you should really be reading it before this awesome creative team goes away, because I don't know what's coming next.
Okay, guys, that might be it for comic recommendations. I'm gonna just ping up people real quick. You got anything this week, Eric? And if you don't,
This
it's okay.
week, I want you to go read Next Testament by Clive Barker and Jaime Jang.
That's my boy. That's my boy, Eric. Like,
It is just an absolutely fantastic comic. I think it's only about 11 issues in right now. But the first trade was just released. It's really dark. It's written by the same guy that wrote the Books of Blood and, if I remember correctly, the Hellbound Heart. So if you were into those, definitely check the Next Testament out.
Endorsed. I forgot about that, but yeah, my buddy lent me the first couple issues of that. Cool to see Clive Barker back in comics, doing his thing, and surprisingly bright. Like you'd figure it'd be all black and white and red and stuff like that, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it's definitely very well drawn.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
good stuff. Shane, you got anything this week? If you don't worry.
No, not really.
All right, no sweat. But I think that wraps it up. That's it. Woohoo! Shoot off the fireworks, everybody. Yeah. Woo!
It was an excellent 2014.
That was a good year. As always, like,
Pew pew.
like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel. If you have anything on this podcast that brought interest to you, we always want to hear about it. This podcast is only, we profess our opinions, but it's all about conversation and talking about what we love, which is comic books. So, on a little sad note, we've been doing this for about 3 months now?
Yeah.
2-3 months now. And we're just getting started. New year coming up, 2015. We're gonna go in hard. We're gonna go in fast. It's gonna be like best comic book. Yes. I see you. I see you. Don't even worry about the imagery you're going through right now. That's the comic book podcast you're gonna get. Paper Cuts Podcast 2015. Look out. We're on the way. So, as always, have a good day. Have a good life. Peace.